Hi, my name is Patricia Sopeña Rodriguez, and along with the other team members, we are doing this video as a part of the class Telecommunication Network Security of Dr. Alexander Pons, and it is only for educational purpose. Our topic is free software and its impact in network security, and we will explore the advantage offered by free software in the area of computer security, comparing them with those offered by proprietary software. We're going to cover what do we need security mechanisms, security flaws that can occur in software, what is free software, advantage of free software in the world of security, disadvantage of proprietary software, and disadvantage of free software. So why do we need security mechanisms? Although it seems a very obvious question, there are still thousands of end users that usually do not consider safety when making use of a system. Maybe because security is usually on the opposite side of comfort in the balance of the system design. There are plenty of reasons why do we need security mechanisms, but we have chosen three of generic cases to be described. The first is exchange of information. When information is exchanged with a remote computer, the information flows through a series of intermediate systems, generally unknown, and there is no any control over these intermediate systems and what they can do without data to go through them. Another concern regarding this is that the people cannot be sure that the system they are connecting to be the one it claims to be, because there are various technical means to impersonate a system and pull up there when you connect. The second case is the installation of malicious software unintentionality. Software could be installed on a computer without the administrator consent. This can occur in many forms. For example, introduction of viruses or Trojans to download and execution of files on servers. The distribution effects can be even involuntary if we use shared file systems. In the case of the virus, the destructive effect will be noticed sooner or later, but the installation of Trojans can, however, go unnoticed. Other examples are the dissemination of virus via email and exploiting vulnerability in a service that is being offered to the Internet, such as a web server. The last case we're going to cover is the protection against unauthorized access. When service or information are offered in a network for legitimate users, at the same time the doors open to possible intruders in these systems, and protect against this possibility implies take extra care with all software employees. A good security system should protect vulnerable systems against possible physical or remote access by unauthorized intruders. The evolution of communication has drawn attention to the possibility of remote access, but this will not be worked if physical access to the system is allowed. There, the importance to take adequate safety measures on the hardware itself. Some security measures that can be implemented are encryption to protect sensitive information and physical methods of destruction of information in case of intrusion.
Security failures in software can be divided into three blocks. The first one is failures due to unknown errors in the software or normally by another hostile entity. This is attributed to the quality of the code. The other block is failure from software misconfiguration, introducing vulnerabilities in the system. This is attributed to a lack of software documentation or a lack of the adequate training of managers to make the right adapting to their needs. The last block is failures due to known bugs but not fixed in the copy of the software in use. This is attributed to the capacity and speed of settlement of the discovery bugs in the code by the supplier and the manager's ability to receive and install new copies of the software updated. It is important to mention that failures may lead to a malfunction of the program, being in the field of security concern because algorithms can be implemented incorrectly, which can lead to loss of safety. For example, a key generation algorithm that is not based on totally random number. Services can be designed that contrary to your specifications, potentially compromise the security of your server that offer functionalities, and may not have taken the necessary precautions to ensure the correct treatment of the input parameters, which can make an external attacker to abuse them to force the program to perform unwanted operation. What is free software? It is generally understood as a free software program where the users can have the source code without restriction and can be modified and redistributed without restriction. This guarantees software user freedom are not contrary to the legitimate right of the author of the program. Free software means software respects user freedom and community. Roughly, it means that the users have the freedom to run, copy, distribute, study, change and improve the software. Thus, free software is a matter of liberty, not price. A program is free software if the program's users have the four essential freedoms: the freedom to run the program as you wish for any purpose, the freedom to study how the program works and change it so it does your computer as you wish, the freedom to redistribute copies so you can help your neighbor, and the freedom to distribute copies of your modified version to others. By doing this, you can give the whole community a chance to benefit from your changes.
Advantage of free software in the world of security. If we analyze the description previously given on the definition of free software, we can appreciate a number of key advantages of this type of software over proprietary software, some of which are very suitable for security, namely, the availability of the source code of the program as a whole. It may be used by third parties unrelated to the authors for flaws in design or implementation. I mean, anyone with the knowledge can perform an audit of the program's code. The ability to make change to the source code and freely distribute it allows anyone to offer an improvement on it. This improvement may be new features that are incorporated into the same or patches to the correct problems. Free software features makes it not logical to load codes the software itself, as it must be distributed without charge, which allows this type of software can be used by organizations and individuals with fewer economic resources. This is presented as an advantage when compared with the prices of the cost of proprietary software securities today, license, firewall, VPNs, instruction detection system, etc. Similarly, the ability to freely modify software enables organizations to adapt it to their own needs, cannot eliminate features that are of interest. In the world of security, there is a maximum, simpler is safer, to eliminate unnecessary functions of the tools. Faced with the failure analysis that can occur in the realization of the software, free software protects its user with a number of specific mechanisms. Among these, the possibility of code auditing tools in the software reduce security risks due to the appearance of unknown faults, the introduction of unwanted code or improper implementation of public algorithm functionalities. Also, you cannot ensure that the code is zero defect. If possible, ensure that you have as much a chance of finding a program flaw in it, implying a security risk, an external attacker as the organization used. While it cannot ensure that the best brains in the world perform the audit of the software code that use that company, depending on their needs regarding the safely performing the audio code, can pay someone to do that. Many free software projects, including the Linux kernel, the Apache project, OpenBSD code distribution, perform audits to ensure integrity, security, and meet the specification of the functionalities required.
Hello, my name is Rafael Marrero, and I'll be pleased to continue with the advantages of a free software, and also the disadvantages of a proprietary software. The ability to edit programs and distribute these corrections allows the programs to evolve in a more open manner. What this means is that if we have any failure of any type in our systems, we know for sure that we will have vulnerabilities, and we don't want that in our systems. Therefore, free software offers the best solution to this, because the number of people working on it are so much more than just one single manufacturer, and therefore the exposure time will be so much less. Another advantage is the fact that there is some independence between the software and its manufacturer. This is very important for support because, as we know, if we cannot solve the problem ourselves, we can outsource it and give it to a third company. And the security of the entity should not depend on the creditworthiness of the third companies that acquire the security products. Now I'll be talking about the disadvantages of a proprietary software. One of them is the possibility that exists of the software with unwanted functionalities. Some functionalities might be enabled or disabled by the user, but not all of them, because many features that cannot be disabled or enabled are not even documented. Backdoors, opened by the software manufacturers. They can open backdoors and use features that we don't even know that they are there. And we have a total lack of knowledge of the user code. The manufacturer can get to have a full sentence of security by obscurity. Since we have this lack of knowledge, we have to definitely trust or fully trust the manufacturer. And the manufacturer have implemented security algorithm, and the user cannot by itself ensure that the implementation was successful. So we have no idea if the algorithms are right or not. Also, the manufacturer of the product alone is the only one that can provide versions, or in case of failure, to add new features. And the user cannot transfer this dependence to another entity. Well, I'm Rafael Marrero once again, and thank you for watching.
Disadvantages of free software. The use of free software is not without its disadvantages. This could be listed as follows. The possibility of an easier generation of Trojans, since the source code can also be modified with malicious intent. If the Trojan manages to be confused with the original version, there can be serious problems. Software distribution ensures possibility of adding signed hashes distributed information. Having no direct support, the future evolution of software components is not ensured or is too slow. The method of generating free software tends to follow, in most cases, the bazaar model. That is, many people work on specific parts and integrating your changes, or people from outside improvement contribute to the overall project. This can lead to poor management of the source code of the software, for not following formal methods of monitoring takes place. The final result is missing key pieces. Is it better to use free software for security products after analyzing these outcomes? It depends. Although it may seem an ambiguous answer, it is actually sufficiently sustained. Through this paper, we have presented different capabilities and advantages and disadvantages of free software versus proprietary software. However, there are certain areas in which it is not feasible to base a security solution in free software, and it will be necessary to resort to proprietary solution by being the first in a still immature stage of development. However, it is possible to guess that free software is, in certain areas, comparing closely with existing proprietary solutions. The situation has been changing as different solutions have been developed and have been shown to the competitive accepted by the general public. This acceptance has led to an exponential development that can be expected that in those areas where free software has not reached to proprietary software, therefore, the situation becomes equal after a certain time. Although the free software has an uneven coverage of the various needs of security of a company or corporation, this is definitely a bad profitable future in areas not yet developed, and a real opportunity to other areas to use an equivalent of proprietary solution with lower costs, a stronger security guarantee by the ability to audit the code in use, greater flexibility in the adaptation and integration thanks to the possibility to modify the code. Beside all these concerns, if people cannot see or audit their own code analysis tools, how can be sure that your security software is safe? Well, this is all for our presentation. Thank you very much.